Hi YouTube, James Donaldson here, and I'm bringing you a video on the Glock 26 XL. I'm sure you've Googled it by now, and you're going to say, James, that doesn't exist. Well, it does, but it doesn't. It does in that, here it is, and it doesn't in that, no, Glock does not make this. They kind of do the opposite lately. What I've done is I've gotten a second grip. Don't worry, I didn't ruin a regular Glock 17. But I had a spare grip chopped off, and let's talk about why. Now, if you were just trying to satisfy your curiosity, it's probably satisfied by now. I understand if you click away. Not a fan of clickbait, so I didn't want to do that. However, if you want to hear some details, see the why and the how, then go ahead and stay tuned. Now, Glock 26 XL. Well, why? The why is because I got a 19 when I made the jump from HK to Glock, and I had no problem aiming the 19. And then when it came to the 26, I noticed that it dipped down a little bit. It's interesting. Tried a 17 out, no problem. 34, no problem. So on and so forth. So what it comes down to is if you look at these grips, granted I don't have a 26 available, the hump is down here, this Glock hump, and then of course it's cut off on this grip. On a 26, because it's supposed to be this length, the hump is higher. I don't really know why they did that. So the cookie cutter nature of my hand fitting the same all the time was a little different. It wasn't quite there. Now, I was able to train around it, which is my big thing. If I can't train around something that kind of helps me move to perfection, then I say forget it and I find another way to accomplish what I want. I was able to train around it, but it still never pointed the same as my 19. So, when thinking about, well, what if I could chop a grip, then I came to thinking, okay, well, why stop at 19? Why not go to 17? And so, that's what I did. Now, this does a few things for me. And first of all, I will cover, I did 2 grips, partly so I don't ruin a regular gun, especially considering the fact that most of the time I've been carrying with this grip, I've had a regular Gen 5 17. No serrations, no MOS. Recently I decided I wanted those things. All I had to do was throw the original grip back on and sell it, and the original barrel. And then picked up the MOS, changed barrel out, threw the slide on this, ready to go. So, other than resale, you also have a bigger grip when you want it, so times when I can get away with concealing more, or I don't need to conceal at all, I can have a full frame, which I'll throw on there real quick. Now, also, it's way less money versus owning 2 guns. Instead, I just own 1. 1.5, I guess we can say, if you want to argue semantics, but the point is that to get an extra grip was less than $200. Is around $50 to have it chopped, so for less than $250 I basically do own 2 guns technically. So there she is. Throw the X300 on, good to go. Now going from there, I did post another video about this which I've taken down since due to production quality and where I'm taking this channel. But I had a lot of people asking about the 19. I had some people saying, why not the 19? Or, dude, if you can't conceal a 19, you need another holster. Look, if you think that whatever works for you is going to work for everybody else, you're pretty ignorant. You need to understand that body types are different. A lot of other factors come in, especially to trying to conceal a weapon. So, I'm going to list out a couple reasons why the 17 works better than the 19. So, this quick short list is not the reasons, but their benefits. Of course, I'm going to have a better sight radius. I'm going to have better velocity with a longer slide slash barrel, especially with a threaded barrel. And then, of course, it helps protect the X300 a little bit more. And then, really getting into it, the major reason is Glock 17 comes well past my hand. A 19 sits higher, and when I wear gloves, I cannot eject a magazine, and I cannot train around that, as I mentioned earlier. So, since I had 19 and 26, I was keeping the 19 for a home defense safe gun. I was going to get rid of the 26 anyway because, hello, then if the 17-19 costs the same, why not push myself further and get the benefits of the 17? So of course I will. Now with that, obviously for non-carry use, the 17 was going to be better. But I will say that even with the 26 length grip and a factory Glock 12 round magazine, I print there. Now granted, I did a lot of carrying early on at 3 and 4 o'clock, so I definitely printed with a 19. And so then, with the Magpul 12 rounders, they didn't print 3 or 4. I can't normally carry a full-size 17 appendix, and I've tried with the 19, also too long. But 12 round magazine from Magpul with this gun carries fine in the appendix. So the Glock 19's grip is both too long and too short for me. Now, the rest of this video is going to be more aimed back at comparing the 26 to the 17. So, pros. Recoil reduction. Some of these pros I didn't necessarily set out to achieve, but they are happy side effects. So, recoil reduction. More weight up front, more distance for the gas to further dissipate in pressure. All adds up to better recoil control. Now, wears in the gun faster. Kind of silly, but I did want to throw it out there. You are wearing the gun in faster. All these moving parts are functioning better together as you wear it in. Now there's another side to that coin that I'll mention in a minute. Pointability, the Glock hump, I've already really talked about those, so I don't need to go into it too much more. And of course increased velocity. When you double a bullet's weight, you double its kinetic energy. When you double a bullet's velocity, you quadruple a bullet's kinetic energy. Am I doubling the velocity? No. But, as you can see, just adding different increments of barrel length is going to help the velocity, especially when you compare it to the 26. Of course, on top of that, you are going to have optimum barrel lengths. 5 inches, which is this barrel being threaded, is just over that. 5 inches is the optimum barrel length for 9mm. Granted, there's other caveats, but that's a pretty ideal length in terms of different types of bullets and balance and all those kinds of things. So, because I will say, as you increase the barrel length, it's not a linear change. Even though it's exponential, it's not an even curve. It's kind of more like that. So, moving on from velocity, let's get into cons. To make this relatively simple, some of these cons I don't even see as that relevant, but I want to mention them because they are things I thought of or heard. So, digs into palm, probably really the only relevant one. This cut right here, which is necessary so I can eject a magazine with a bare hand. This holds my palm off well with one hand. With the recoil pulling back and down, it digs into it, doesn't even break the skin. So, is it really that relevant to the thing to worry about? No, but it happens. It's something I want you to consider if you're thinking about doing this to your Glock 17 or 19, I don't care. Anyway, so most of the time I'm holding the gun with 2 hands, rotating my elbows up. It really pulls my hand off of this point. So most of the time that I'm shooting, because I do most of my shooting two-handed, it's not really a factor. So, self-defense argument, someone didn't want to cut the grip for me because they said if somebody got a hold of it and got it away from me, then that was dangerous, and they didn't agree with that, plus they didn't want to be held liable. I get it. I'm a huge fan of capitalism and I love America, so they have a right to turn me down, whether they don't like what I want, or they don't like my face, or any other reason. I support their right to turn me down. Someone else is willing to do it. That's somebody who was Great Plains Guns out of Kansas City, Kansas. They chopped the grip, they did a great job, everyone's fine. So, that having been said, there are so many variables in hand-to-hand combat, let alone when you incorporate firearms, that I just don't see that argument being relevant. If they get the gun away from me like that, I'm just going to let it go and go to work. And even if I lose the fight, I'm not losing because I'm getting shot. The guns are irrelevant at that point. So, That's one of the reasons I'm not worried about it, without going into the weeds. Next, haters. People just have stupid opinions, but they're their opinions. I rarely just brought up some of the relevant cons. There are a lot of cons that people brought up that don't make any sense. So, then of course there's wearing out the gun faster because you're wearing it in faster. Yes, but you're talking hundreds of thousands of rounds. Like it's even sillier than talking about it wearing in faster. Slightly relevant is the frames are not being worn in at the same rate the slide. Do I think that'll ever manifest itself or affect anything? No. Have I had any malfunctions with this weapon? With the old 17, the other one I had, twice a round didn't go off. It was the ammo. As in just that round. The rest of the ammo was fine. I've put all kinds of rounds. You know, it's a Glock. It's going to fire the same way. This being gone really has nothing to do with anything else. So, in terms of functionality, it's fine. Now, variables and caveats. I really don't know why I'm even bringing this up, because a lot of times when I rehearsed this before filming, I mentioned beveled frame. I didn't even know what I was talking about. I had to think about it. So Glock made the mistake of, on frames alone and full guns, they didn't bevel the frame along with this new bullnose slide here. So my grip that I chopped is like that, but the old 17 and this one, the frames are beveled for what it's worth. So if you care about that, pay attention to that when you buy your frame. But do I notice or care or even think about it really? No. Next, stick out of pants. It doesn't. Now, when I carried it the 3 and 4 o'clock with this holster, I didn't have the threaded barrel. I had the factory barrel because I didn't want the barrel tearing up the inside of the pants and poking through. The pretty durable pants, I'm going to do a video on those, but either way, I was trying to extend the life of them. So, all that having been said, now that I carry appendix, I can get away with a threaded barrel on the X300. Honestly, I am very confident I could get away with the length of a 34 slide. Probably not 17L though. In jeans, I have gotten away with a 17L. Next, everyone talking about 15-foot engagements. Again, like, if you're just so satisfied with the mediocrity when your life is on the line, then that's your call. I want to push myself to be smarter, stronger, faster, more composed, and I want to be the best shooter I can. The things I like to do, I want to be the best I can be at them. So I'm going to push myself to shoot farther and farther more accurately, and that's always going to improve my situation at 15 feet, if that's the normal amount that someone conceal carries at. So no, did I do all this just because I wanted this? No, I was really about removing the hump, but I gained a lot. And so, yeah, I'm trying to push myself to be the best I can and the most effective I can, even if that means improving my gear along with myself. So that's kind of what I'll say about that. Next, velocity debate. Again, I'm not just chasing velocity, it's just a really great pro that came out of it. I think I've said enough about it as far as the exponential growth that you can see from increasing your barrel length. So, anyway, that's the video. In summary, I've carried this for over a year, probably a year and a half or more, and it's been great. I've had very little concealability problems, a little bit when it comes to appendix, but I just got to kind of think about what I wear and all that. So it's been so successful that I plan to put suppressor sights on it and an optic and see how much more I can get away with, possibly at one point doing a 34. I have a 17L, I may or may not do a video on that, but that gun is just long. That's kind of pushing the envelope too far. So if you're interested in doing this, by all means, ask me any questions about it. I hope I covered the video pretty well, or covered the gun pretty well in the video. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Support us on Patreon. That's definitely going to help us with things like production quality, for one, and also probably be able to help me check out some other gear. I've got some more videos geared toward concealed carry that you're going to see, but I definitely wanted to get this video out as soon as I could. So, until next time, keep your composure.